Hi everyone, it's Annie from A Phoenix Healing. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day and enjoying your weekend. It's Saturday, November 22nd, 2025, and I wanted to come on and do a little video, give a little insight on some things on what's happening right now energetically and, even sharing some personal stuff that it has gone on with me and hoping that by putting stuff out there that other people will relate to things and will find some comfort in knowing that, yes, there's a lot of things going on right now. Things are happening beyond our control, but navigating through it, working our way through it and moving forward. And so hopefully this video, the video serves to give some peace and some clarity and some information to what's going on and hopefully resonates. Today is Sagittarius season, and Sagittarius is, the adventurer, the freedom seeker, the archer, the freedom uh, zodiac sign, the one who always just like has to go off the very very spiritual, very uh philosophical sign. So, as we enter this new season, this new zodiac season, be open to new experiences and adventures, expand your horizons and invite in more fun. Never stop following your dreams and keep aiming for the stars. Move away from the mundane and focus on the bigger picture. Be more optimistic. Explore the spiritual and philosophical side of things on a deeper level. Restore your faith, hope, and trust in the universe. And, break free from limiting beliefs. So nothing can stand in your way of achieving your dreams and life that you want. Always keep aiming for the stars, And, with that said, because we're just getting out of, Scorpio season and, water signs and fire signs are very different. And, water signs too, it's like very feeling, fire signs are action, and especially like every zodiac sign has their own um basically d they all have a different description and different things. Some of them are very similar, but especially with Sagittarius, this is a wonderful weight. I feel like it's nice that it closes. Obviously, Capricorn season closes out of the year every year, but especially as I feel like with the fire sign with Sagittarius, it's a really nice way to end up getting closer as we end out the year. And then with the Capricorn being an earth sign, it's a nice way to help round everything that's been working up through, like the emotions, the actions, and just everything that's been happening. I know this month has been like really like, ooh, like there's definitely been some um ups and downs, I guess, in the sense of like what I'm seeing like play out in my world. I know I was like watching something, I think was it last month, there was a couple astrologers that were like even saying like, heads up, Scorpio risings and a few other rising signs that November was going to be a month where you could go further. Well, you absolutely are not going to take any bullshit and go off on people that need it. And that absolutely has been happening this month for me. I mean, I'm definitely a no bullshit type of person, anyways, and I'm just a very fair, ethical, and justice type soul. So if I see someone doing something bad, I'm not going to just like shut my mouth and pretend it didn't happen and walk away. I'm going to like call them out and say something. And yeah, I've definitely been in a few situations like that. I've also had some situations this month, and especially to remember, like this is 11, like an 11 month. So regardless, like what personal, month someone is in, like, because there's so many different components to things, especially like, for me as a numerologist, like, you have to look at like energies throughout the year, like personal year, the world year, the personal month, and also what is the general month's energy in general. And remember, this is the 11 month. Um, 11/2 month, but being that so it's like heightened intuition, heightened things, I definitely felt that this month as well. As if you follow me and watch my videos and know my story, like my ex was actually my twin flame, and if you understand the twin flame uh, stories of stuff, like you can never really be separate. Like you can be no longer in a relationship in the 3D, like you can just have no contact whatsoever, but there's always a little bit of the, because it's one soul and two bodies, like a bit connected to see things. And I know that's the only time when he reaches out in my dreams, um when something's gone down. And I have to say, there was something that was telling me even months ago, I felt like something was going to happen with one of his grandparents because I would take to Google, sometimes Google a name, didn't see anything. And then last night, even I just Googled the name, Googled like the maternal grandma's name, and sure enough, the grandma passed away earlier this month. And something was just kept telling me, like, I felt something was going to happen. And remember, too, we are in a world year nine, and nine is all about endings. And yes, death of things. And like, I think that there's like, definitely certain things because whether it's a world year, like I said, world year, personal year, personal month, or even the month in general, a month of the energy of the month in general. Like there's all these different things to look at, especially if you're looking at things from an astrologist point of view and a neurologist point of view, and again, even combining them. And yeah, so I had this dream. I had two, and yeah, I don't remember much happened, but I know usually, like I said, if he's in there, something's gone down. And sure enough, the grandma passed away, and I did think it was interesting because I like that side of the family never liked me. The maternal side never liked me, and I always kind of thought like there was some type of curse on that family, like they were from Croatia, and like that's just stories that I would hear. Like I guess the dad died young, the grandfather died young, her husband died something, and like she never really liked the husband. Like that's the stuff that she would say. Like it was just some sort of arranged marriage or whatever. And then there was like they produced three daughters, and then the first daughter, who was my ex's aunt, like the first one who got married, like like the eldest and the first one to get married, like something really horrible happened to her husband, I guess, and he died, and then she eventually found her second husband and had kids with him. And then my ex mother-in-law was the middle child, and my ex was the first of the grandchildren, and also the first to get married. And I always thought that there was something that happened, like there must have been some type of curse or whatever, because even the grandma would say that she thinks certain things were cursed sometimes. That you can't kill me, but you could kill the marriage, and that's exactly what happened. And then when I think about it too, in hindsight too, like in the astrology dates, like where certain things were, like that definitely meant like where the transit was, where like it definitely like it even said like ending of a of a relationship, and that's what happened. Even the date was even on a nine, so that's what happened too. And was also even in my personal year of nine. So there's all these things that I look out for when I look at people's stuff. And I did think it was really interesting though too, because in numerology there's four karmic debt numbers, and I never knew her date of birth. And um, I understand now a little bit like the backstory of stuff because I can see why she was super close with my ex, because not even just being like the first um grandchild and the first boy, but also, like 'cause she has like they both have like a life path that is the same. However, to get to that life path is different because hers is a karmic debt number, and like there's four of them. There's 13, 14, 16, and 19. She has a 19. And what's interesting is so like with 19, because like 1 9 equals, like the, 10, which equals the one, so the one in numerology is very independent, very much a leader. But for karmic debt number 19, an important lesson is for people like who have this, like is to become independent, stand on their own 2 feet. It means like they'll stick to their guns by themselves, and most challenges faced by those who have that karmic Debt 19 will be personal struggles in past lives. Like they may have been a bully and taken everything they wanted at the expense of others. Maybe they walked over people, considering their circumstances or pain to get what they wanted, and may have even been a supreme manipulator who was very calculating in their ways to achieve their heart's desires. And honestly, I don't think she learned her lesson because she was not a nice person to me, and obviously neither was my in-law, like my ex-mother-in-law. But I know it also explained too, like when I even found out the address, like I'm like, oh my God, yes, because the house address too is a complete challenge to me. No wonder I always felt like weird there. But and you can just like tell, like even in our wedding photo, she had it like my ex would say, one day we're going to be on this wall. And this is like where all the kids had like their wedding photos. And she threw our wedding photo in a different room. So I'm like, okay, this is where I stand. And unfortunately, obviously you never had my back, but red flags come on after you get married and people change. Um, but anyways, it's just very interesting to see how all these things like, line up like with astrology and numerology. Um, and it's just really crazy because, they really can tell you to they can give you insights to possibly when certain things will happen, but it's like even when you meet with a psychic, like and you have tarot readings and oracle reads, like we in channelers, right? Like, and I get this because I do this with myself and I do this with other people that I work with, like my clients and obviously anyone that I do my work with. But it's one of those things too, where it's like, are we ever going to get like the exact play-by-play of things? No, because God, the universe, and divine high realms, angel spirit won't allow that. Like, we're not supposed to know every single thing. We can get hints on when things are going to happen and what things are going to happen, but we're never going to know exactly like when. And, especially like, you know, more energy behind certain things, like even too with like this 19, this karmic debt 19, right? It's definitely a tendency to manipulate others for their own gain, extreme stubbornness, being overly dependent on partners and relationships, or even how it can fall out onto like someone's children, their own children. um they, being narcissistic, just like all these things that, especially with karmic debt numbers, like and especially like until they acknowledge and act upon the right way and understand and master their lessons, they will more than likely continue to act on the more destructive tendency, the lower vibration, and repeating lessons lifetime after lifetime until they get it right. Um, and it's just everything's so fascinating. Like I actually did a wedding blueprint the other day, which was like really, really fun. I love doing it. It was like a wonderful couple that I did it with because I've done their compatibility reading before and done even too like if they change the name, like how it would look, and the wedding blueprint, like that's really fun. So it's like with those two, like there's so many things that go on with that, right? Like I'm looking at like what is the world year that you'd want to get married in? What are their like personal years? Are their yeah, what are their personal years? What are their personal months? And then so you can calculate to see like what exactly what months would be the best fit, and then going within the months diving in and seeing, okay, well, what days are the most compatible to this couple, like to go with. And then it's like you arrange everything all nicely so it's in an easy readable format, and then they can go from there and choose the best dates for them. And then even the other day too, like I was finishing like a solo return. That's why I haven't been on live so much. I've been doing a lot of chart readings and everything. And when I do my readings, my especially the services that I don't do live, this is like when I don't do live over Zoom, I should say, instead of like I take my time with doing everything because it also takes it's a process, right? When you're calculating these, especially like solar return charts, winning blueprint charts, like you're calculating everything and analyzing everything, reviewing everything, and then making translating everything, writing everything down so your client will understand when um like what to expect, like even like when I do my personal years for numerology, it's like things of what to expect for the upcoming year. And it's just a process. There's a lot of time, energy, a lot of love, a lot of calculations that go into these services and stuff. But it's just when you have this knowledge in front of you, like it's, oh my God, it's just like you can breathe, like you can know like, okay, so these might be the best dates for us to get married. Might be a transit. This might be a time where stuff's going on in one area of my life that's not so great, but okay, this other area of my life looks great, especially when the solar return can bring that clarity with things. Um, so if anyone's interested in those, I invite you to check over on my website, phoenixalien.com, and look into that because I know we're going into some exciting times, especially in 2026, because we're going to start all over. Like we're going to be at year one, the new beginning. So if you're looking for a nice way to start off the year, I invite you to look over like my service list, the offers that I have, personal year reading, the solar return chart reading, just uh, a lot of good stuff there. I don't offer shit. So, and everything comes from my heart too. I have all the work and time, everything I do comes with love. And yeah, I just think that this is like, so much craziness that's going on. Like even, because we're in that 9 year, I've been saying this even from the beginning, like expect a lot of endings, completions. I don't want to like really say death, but some death generally ends up happening. I know like my wonderful stepmom, she lost her mom a few months ago. Like my parents, they ended up just like losing like their kitty together, and this was the kitty that was like tying, like he was like the one that was there with the when the first generation of kitties were there, and then like now with like the third. So now it's like my parents are reliving the loss of the first babes too. And that even happened this month, like about a couple weeks ago. And then yeah, just finding out too about my ex, like his grandmother, his maternal grandmother. So, like there are a lot of like deaths that happen, whether it's like physical or yeah, like endings of things. You have to be we try to be very careful with how we say things, especially in the community world, like spiritual community, because you don't want to like come out and say certain things, but you can see things, like predict things, like in, trying to say things in a gentle, compassionate way. Um, I do think that this year has been hard for a lot of people, well, especially like we're in a world year nine, and some people are getting the hit, the double energy when they're in their more personal year matches the world year too. But I know it's definitely a time where, we're wrapping up this world year nine. So like anything you want to really, really, really let go, the energy is working. And especially now that we're in Sagittarius season, like you have the fire, like light the fire into your ass and just like, get going on things you want to get done. If there's a certain task thing, if there's something you want, like paperwork that needs to get done, filed, like any relationships that definitely have like met its end and wanting to let go of that. Just any type of ending that doesn't feel right to your soul, like your authentic self, like who you are, who do you feel to be in this lifetime. Just like this is a wonderful time as we're wrapping up this world year of nine of endings and completions. Um, to do that, and but especially that fire sign, you will have the fuel to do that, the passion to do that, to get it done, because this is like really what it is. Like, this is really like really when you think about it too, it's like, okay, well, this is nice too that like we have that fire sign here. We have the two signs, the fire sign and the earth sign, because the fire sign is all about like getting stuff done. Yes, sometimes okay, fire can be like impulsive and stuff, but it's the action. It's actually getting it done. And then being in that Capricorn space right after, you can feel more grounded and rested. Okay, you got this shit done. And now, okay, rest, reprieve, find peace. So, with that said, I just think that, as we're wrapping up this world year of nine, there's a lot of things going on. We're still in this period of the 11th month. And like I said, this is a time where things can happen, where it's really about with that November energy of like very spiritual, very like, um, empathetic time and compassion time, something where like your heart could feel like you're growing, and other times where your heart could feel in pain, like if something not so great happened. Um, and just really having, uh, embracing certain aspects of yourself and certain things that are happening, and um, really getting out of this year too of this 9 year. But in December, it is a 3 month, because 1 plus 2 is 3. And 3 is really about communication. And obviously too, that brings me up to Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde will end in a few more days on the 29th. So if anybody who's been having problems, communicating like over text, like video calls, like, working on stuff on their computer. Like I know a lot of people that have been experiencing things. I've experienced something weird shit too, where you think like you write something up or you do something and then it's like, where the fuck did it go? So like Mercury retrograde that will be over soon, but and this was this that's the last for 2025. But yeah, the three is like the communicator, like very much like the entertainer, like so, be aware going into like next month in December, like communication should flow easily. And it should be a little bit more of a calmer energy in the sense of communication styles. There's other influences at play, of course, but it should, especially when we lift Mercury retrograde and Mercury goes direct, it should be easier to communicate with people in general. And or even just your electronics and getting your papers done, saving them, sending them where you need to go, emails, text, any form of these communications should be easier. But with that said, this is the energy we're currently at now. We're almost done with November, heading into December soon, almost out of this 9 year, heading into that 1 year next year. And all I can say is like, go speed ahead. Like we're getting through this, like we're all in this together. Just getting through this, and really just the best thing is just to keep your head above water, make sure you take care of yourself, be gentle with yourself. Because also too with that November, it's also like, yes, okay, you can nourish and give things to others, but make sure you give back to you. Make sure your cup's full. Make sure you have nourishment for yourself. Whether that's like doing something for yourself, taking a spa day, doing a meditation, taking a nice long luxurious bubble bath, eating healthy food, spoiling yourself out once in a while for like a nice treat, or like, you know, um, uh, a dessert somewhere, or even takeout, just doing something that's going to nourish you, massage, like, a nice, pampering day, like mani-pedi or hairstyle, just something that'll make you feel good and uplift your spirits. Um, Especially during like crazy chaotic energetic times. But so if anyone wants to share their experience, what they've been feeling, like especially in this part of the later part of the year and even just this month alone, definitely feel free to comment ahead. I think that also shows too, like where other people, can relate and feel also too like, oh, okay, I'm not the only person like going through this. It helps build up that sense more too of like, the community, and knowing too that so many spiritual people are going through this, but also like that we're all are here navigating this earth together. We're towing the line, basically. Like, especially those who have done the work, the healing and the growth and involved, like nothing's ever going to be perfect. Like we can be healed, but as I say countless times over, you still don't take any shit either. And all you can do is just be the best version of yourself that you can be, but that doesn't mean being perfect. And like even me as a vegan, right? Like I do so like I live my life, try to do my life as least harm as possible on this planet, and just do good. So it's all you can do, especially when you're a light worker. Just keep doing good things, spreading your love, spreading your light, spreading kindness, compassion, but also at the same time, don't take any shit. If you need to put people in your place, you need to do it, especially when you see some people do really bad things like acts of violence and abuse and are just not nice people. Um, So defend your fellow man and paw babies. But yeah, with that said, I hope this video has been resonating. Like, so this is what's going on, like even what I'm experiencing right now. And, like I said, we're almost out of this year, almost out of this month, and we're gonna go full speed ahead into 2026 soon. So with that said, stay tuned for the video I do for December energy, and obviously even tomorrow when I do the collective energy for the week ahead. So take care, everyone. Please enjoy the rest of the weekend. Stay warm and stay safe, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.